This is Dabu7 with some underground world news. I want to start off here with talk of building the world's most spectacular skyscraper. It's what they're dubbing it. And the talk of it is going to new heights here as many people are rolling out their plans for this building that they're dubbing the Big Bend. This is a slender tower that would transform the Manhattan skyline, and it would be situated on 57th Street. That's where they're targeting right now. And you can see some of the images here that they've put together of what this would look like. And it would be the world's longest building, running from bottom all the way up around and back down to the other side. And you can see what it would look like here in these images. Now, this story is pretty critical in terms of everything that we're doing here on planet Earth. You're talking about the bee species, and one of them, or the first one officially here in the United States, to be placed on the endangered species list. Okay, this is the rusty-patched bumblebee. They had been a prominent feature throughout the Midwest here in the United States, but they have lost 90% of their population. Now, you can attribute that to many things. They want to say, as always, climate change, blame it on the carbon in you, we the humans, in a form of control. But what they're not talking about is the aerosol spraying, the chemtrailing in the air, and all this other stuff that's happening as well that's affecting these creatures. We've also seen them spraying against the mosquitoes, especially in Florida and in other areas, and the spray had taken out lots of different beehives. I mean, many. Wiped out millions of bees, people that were taking care of them and had farms. And that was just another example of how easily a whole colony can be wiped out when they bring a poison back to the hive. Now, I'm not sure how many are aware of what's happening here in terms of YouTube or Google and this battle that's going on with ads. We had AT&T step up and say, we're pulling all of our ads from your services. And what they were saying is they don't agree that some of their ads are running next to extremist content. With white nationalists, other extremists were the examples given. Then Verizon followed suit and said the same thing, that they will suspend digital ads on YouTube. Now, we also have Johnson & Johnson joining this list, saying that they're going to pull their ads as well. And this comes on the heels of this restricted mode here on YouTube. And I'm warning all of you, you need to scroll down to the bottom of your YouTube page and see where it says worldwide and all that other stuff. It should say restricted. You should see if it's on or off. Because if it's on, they're going to take away a slew of information. And you're just not going to be able to see it. Just that simple. Just in one click, thousands of videos, if not millions, will vanish from your searches, from the archives, everything. So make note of that. And I will continue updating with the places that are pulling their advertisement from Google as more continue to do so. Like I said, we need that other platform, a righteous one, to step onto the scene. We've been needing it for a long time. Here in Ukraine, in this image, you were looking at a large munitions depot that has gone up in flames. They're saying nearly 20,000 people evacuated after this. Now, there's been huge drills going on in Crimea, the Russian military. There's been ongoing stuff happening in Ukraine, period. And I'm about to cover another story that adds to all this. Mainstream media never covering this in the light in which they should. And what I mean by that is, from day one, the Western-backed allies ran an elected government out of a country. That's Ukraine. All the elected officials ran them out of their offices into Russia and other countries, completely ran them out with mercenaries and overthrew the country and caused chaos. We exposed this every step of the way. Same time, Russia swooped down, took Crimea. They came in, as soon as the dust settled, they took all the gold out of Ukraine. Western-backed allies did. Then they set up shop and let Monsanto and all these other businesses come in and do their thing. And Ukraine was the breadbasket of that area at one time, and now they're GMOing it to hell and back. And this is why Russia is burning all the stuff at the border and not allowing it to come in. So, huge depot goes up in flames there. We're not sure what's caused this yet, but I will continue to update as I come across new information on that. And you were looking at Denis Voronenkov and his wife here, Maria Maxakova. She is an opera singer. This guy is a former MP out of Russia. He was supporting Putin at the time. Then he switched and went the other way and said, we're against Putin. He fled to Ukraine. And in broad daylight, he was just taken out. Some are saying straight up assassination, saying that he was fearing the Secret Service of Putin and his goons in Moscow. And at this point, one thing's for sure, he's dead. We'll have to continue digging on this. And of course, anyone connected, they're not going to be admitting this. So, as more details emerge, I will update. And there's more details here at this link. Of course, there's links to all these stories in the description box. And I want to finish up here with some updates to the situation that we saw unravel in London. Now, this has all the earmarkings of one of those events that just reeks of something not being right with it. And when looking at this step by step, there's now footage out there showing this car coming across, hitting people, then falling off into the water, then continuing down around the corner. There's different clips of footage. There's not as much as I would like to piece this whole thing together. But it shows when the vehicle is at a rest that it's the front right side that has the heaviest damage. If this car would have hit these people up here, the left side should have had some damage too. And as it continued down, apparently it made its way down and around where they say it crashed into a fence. This is where the guy had hopped out, went up and stabbed the cop, and then he was shot. And at this point, they have yet to give the name of the suspect. Now, at first, Channel 4 was saying that it was this Abu guy, and all the outlets picked it up and ran with it. Then they took that back. Now, this morning, all we're seeing trending is a British-born individual, and all the reports are saying that the intelligence services know who he is. They know his name, know everything, but they're not telling us. Why would they do that? What's so... They've conducted raids. All this stuff is raked. Coming on the 1 year anniversary of Brussels, which we know was backed by Mossad in a staged event, 100%. Coming on the day that the Scottish were supposed to vote in a referendum like Brexit to leave. It was Indy Ref 2. They had to suspend all that because of this event that took place here. Now, there was a massive drill right there on the River Thames where hundreds of police staged a drill on a terrorist situation. And this is just one of two drills that took place prior to this. Big drill right there on the River Thames, right where the people were falling into the water. They do all these drills, have all this stuff right before this, have all hands on deck. And thus far, no name to the individual. Now, of course, I will update if they release that name. And, you know, they're saying that the boogeyman, ISIL, ISIS, whatever they want to call it these days, that they created, is taking responsibility for this. So what does that tell you, guys? It's time to start seeing all these stories full circle for what they are. If you know who's already created the boogeyman, funded them, and everything else, we've talked about it a million times, and now they're saying here through their controlled media that they're claiming responsibility, well, who's that tell you did it? It's obvious. You don't have to look for anything else once you've now figured out that they're controlling both avenues. You see? And when the group that they created, and you know they created and funded, is claiming responsibility, what does that tell you? Come on, people. I know some of you get it. Others trying to wrap their head around it, and it's just that simple. They control the avenues just like they have since World War I, when the Rothschild brothers split up and they went to France, Germany, funded both sides of the war. They don't teach you that in school. And for good reason, in their eyes, because they don't want you awakened to your true history. And as a breaking update to this, just put out 4 minutes ago. It looks like 24 minutes ago, probably by the time most of you see this, it'll be about 30 minutes out. They're saying that Khalid Massoud is the one that they are naming as the individual that pulled off the attack in London. So after all this time, they're naming this 52-year-old that was born in Kent as the man responsible for the attack. And that's what we know thus far. So I will continue to update. I'm going to dig into this individual, see what kind of information we can get on him. Just like we were saying with the other guy that they were trying to name, we want to see where this guy's been the past couple days, past couple weeks. Has he been in some kind of training facility? Where's he been? What's been going on? You know, and get to the bottom of this, of who this individual is. And once again, if their boogeymen are already trying to claim this, with it, folks, you should know the math here in this equation. Like I said before, when they're controlling both avenues, don't fall back asleep and fall back away from it. You need to know it and get it in your head, because the next time around, it's going to be the same hand that pulls off these events like they always do. It's been Dabu7, and this is Illuminati.